Assalamualaikum and hi. I would like to present myself reflection report based on scam 1992, the Harshad Mehta story. This presentation will focus on the ethical dilemmas and unethical behaviors shown in the series, their consequences, the court decision, lessons learned, recommendations, and my personal reflection regarding ethics in finance. Let's begin. The reason I chose this series is because it is closely related to ethical issues in finance. In the financial industry, trust is one of the most important elements. Investors trust financial institutions to manage money responsibly, and they expect the stock market to operate fairly. However, when individuals misuse their position for personal gain, the consequences can be severe. Scam 1992 presents a real-life example of how unethical behavior can affect not only individuals but also financial institutions, investors, and the economy. Through this presentation, I will discuss several ethical issues highlighted in the series and explain what lessons can be learned from this case. Scam 1992. The Harshad Mehta story was released in 2020 and directed by Harshad Mehta. The main actor, Pratik Gandhi, played the role of Harshad Mehta, a stockbroker who became one of the most influential figures in India's stock market during the early 1990s. The series is based on the real events surrounding the 1992 securities scam and was adapted from the book The Scam, Who Won, Who Lost, Who Got Away. The series became popular because it is successfully explained complex financial concepts while telling an engaging real-life story. The story follows Harshad Mehta's journey from an ordinary middle-class background to becoming a highly successful stockbroker. Through hard work and determination, he gained recognition in the financial industry and earned the trust of many investors. As his influence grew, he discovered weaknesses in the banking system and financial regulations. Instead of using his knowledge ethically, he exploited loopholes to obtain large amounts of money from banks. He then used those funds to buy significant quantities of shares, causing stock prices to increase rapidly. Many investors believed the rising prices reflected genuine market growth and followed his investment decisions. As a result, stock prices became artificially inflated. What makes this case interesting is that many people view Harshad Mehta as a financial genius and a symbol of success. However, behind that success were unethical practices that eventually led to one of the biggest financial scandals in India. When the fraud was exposed, the market collapsed and many investors suffered major financial losses. This case demonstrates how success achieved through unethical means is often temporary and unsustainable. The first ethical issue shown in the series is insider trading. Insider trading occurs when someone uses confidential information that is not available to the public to gain an advantage in the market. Financial markets should provide equal opportunities for all investors. When certain individuals gain access to privileged information and use it for personal benefit, fairness is compromised. This creates an unequal environment where ordinary investors are placed at a disadvantage. In addition, insider trading can damage confidence in the stock market. If investors believe that only certain people have access to important information, they may lose trust in the system and become reluctant to invest. In my opinion, insider trading is unethical because it prioritizes personal profit over fairness and transparency. A healthy financial market depends on equal access to information for all participants. Second ethical issue is fraud and white-collar crime. White-collar crimes are non-violent crimes committed for financial gain, usually by professionals working in positions of trust. In this case, fake bank receipts and unauthorized financial transactions were used to obtain funds illegally. These funds were then used to manipulate stock prices and generate profits. Although these crimes do not involve physical violence, they can create significant financial losses for investors and institutions. One important lesson from this case is that financial crimes are often difficult to detect because they involve complex transactions and technical financial processes. This is why financial institutions need strong internal controls, regular audits, and effective monitoring systems. Without proper controls, unethical individuals may exploit weaknesses in the system. The third ethical issue is conflict of interest. A conflict of interest occurs when personal interests interfere with professional responsibilities. Several individuals and institutions involved in the scandal failed to perform their duties objectively. Instead of protecting the interests of investors and maintaining market integrity, some parties prioritize personal benefits. As a result, unethical activities continued for a long period without being properly addressed. In many organizations, employees may face pressure from superiors or colleagues to ignore unethical behavior. However, professionals have a responsibility to act according to ethical standards, regardless of external pressure. This case shows how conflicts of interest can contribute to large ethical failures within an organization.
ओल्ड स्कूल हो या न्यू स्कूल, सबके सिलेबस में एक सब्जेक्ट कॉमन होता है, प्रॉफिट, और वो मेरा फेवरेट सब्जेक्ट है.
The scam created serious consequences for various stakeholders. First, many investors suffered substantial financial losses after stock prices collapsed. Some individuals lost their savings and faced financial difficulties. Second, the scandal affected the broader economy by reducing confidence in the financial system. The case exposed weaknesses in banking regulations and market supervision. Third, public trust in financial institutions declined significantly. People became more cautious when investing because they feared similar incidents could happen again. Even after the scandal ended, financial institutions had to work hard to rebuild their credibility and regain public confidence. This demonstrates how difficult it can be to restore trust once it has been damaged. Following investigations into the scandal, Harshad Mehta faced multiple criminal and civil cases. He was accused of fraud, forgery, financial misconduct, and other violations related to the securities market. Authorities conducted extensive investigations to identify those involved in the scam. The case also prompted regulators to introduce stricter financial regulations and improve oversight of financial activities. Although legal actions were taken, the scandal remains an important reminder of the consequences of unethical behavior in finance. It also highlighted the importance of strong regulatory system in protecting investors and maintaining market integrity. In my opinion, Harshad Mehta was undoubtedly intelligent and highly knowledgeable about the financial market. However, the intelligence alone is not enough to ensure success. Ethics must always guide financial decision making. One aspect that stood out to me is that many individuals appeared to be aware of suspicious activities but chose not to take action. This suggests that unethical behavior can spread when people remain silent. I believe ethical leadership plays a critical role in preventing such situations. Leaders influence the culture of behavior of an organization. If leaders prioritize integrity and transparency, employees are more likely to act ethically as well. I also believe that financial knowledge should always be accompanied by strong moral values. Without ethics, financial expertise can easily be misused for personal gain rather than benefiting society. After watching this series, I gained a deeper understanding of the importance of ethics in finance. The story reminded me that financial decisions affect many stakeholders, including investors, customers, employees, and society as a whole. As a future finance professional, I may face situations where personal benefits conflicts with ethical responsibilities. This series taught me that making ethical decisions may not always be easy, but it is necessary to maintain trust and credibility. I learned that long-term success is built on honesty, transparency, and accountability rather than shortcuts or unethical practices. This lesson will be valuable throughout my future career. Based on this case, I would like to suggest several recommendations. First, financial regulations should be continuously strengthened to reduce opportunities for fraud. Second, organizations should provide regular ethics training to employees. Third, transparency and accountability should be improved across financial institutions. Fraud, whistleblowing systems should be encouraged so that unethical activities can be reported safely. After that, stricter penalties should be imposed on financial crimes to discourage future misconduct. In conclusion, Scam 1992, the Harshad Mehta story, provides valuable insights into ethical issues within the financial industry. The case demonstrates how insider trading, fraud, and conflicts of interest can create serious consequences for investors, institutions, and the economy. More importantly, it reminds us that success achieved through unethical means is never sustainable. As future finance professionals, we must always prioritize integrity, transparency, and ethical decision making in our careers. That's all from me. Thank you.
बॉम्बे में स्टॉक मार्केट की घंटी बजती है ना रोज, उसी के साथ मेरे नाम का डंका भी बजता। बॉम्बे बॉम्बे यहाँ सब बदल जाए पर दरिया वही रहे। तो भाई मैं दलाल स्ट्रीट का दरिया, जिसमें दम है आके थोड़ा नमक चख।